Welcome to Course Close-Up. Mike Fiorillo, Ed Marin. Ed?
Hey, how you doing?
We're here at the Riverside Golf Course with Linda, who's the owner. Linda, thanks for having us out here.
My pleasure.
Let's talk about the history of this course. When it first opened up, when was that?
Back in about 1915,
Wow.
the Bairds owned the Riverside Inn. And at that point in time, golf was just kind of coming into its own over in Europe. It was starting to get really popular. And that was the time when Cambridge was like the Disney of the time. With it was halfway between Chicago and New York City, so it was a place for people vacationed and came a lot. And so he decided that a golf course would be an additional attraction. So he built the back nine first.
Is that the present back nine?
That's the present back nine. And the tee times and everything were handled through the Riverside Inn.
Okay.
And they would bring people up. They have pictures of the old, like a stagecoach, that they would load everybody up in the golf clubs and haul everybody up here. But you did the tee times through the Riverside Inn. At that point in time, the property line ran not too far along north side here. And there was a large hotel that sat right on the 9th green.
And you want to show us
Yeah,
that
we
picture?
have a couple pictures here. It was the Hotel Kelly.
Can you get that,
It's
Kevin?
it's like 3 stories,
Wow.
and it had a rooftop garden. So it furnished all of the vegetables and that for the
Wow.
hotel guests.
And this was an ad
So-
in the paper.
This is an
Wow.
ad that appeared in the Jewish Review and Observer in Cleveland. So obviously, they were advertising. I can't find anything that confirms, but my feeling is that if you're going to advertise in a Jewish paper, you might actually be a kosher hotel. And there were, in fact, kosher hotels in existence in Cambridge at the time that were strictly kosher.
And it's really interesting, technology being so different today. Today you have cell phones and everything. Back then it says write to
Yes.
Joe to get a reservation and so
Yes.
forth. There was no phones or anything, or not many. And also it says here they'll even, like you said, give you a ride, if you needed a
Oh, well,
ride
they would
somewhere.
take you into the town.
Town of
Yes.
Cambridge.
Yes. Yes.
So a lot of history
So,
here.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of history. Again, a little
beautiful
bit
building,
better.
beautiful
Yeah, it
hotel.
was a beautiful
And that
building.
stayed until,
Yes, until
Tell us about that
about. So as I said, the property line ran shortly here. At some point in time, as the craze was declining, a lot of the hotels started to close up, and this started going into receivership, and was going to be sold sheriff's sale. And lo and behold, the night before it went for sheriff's sale, it burnt.
Burnt
And
all the way
so
down?
went all the way down.
Wow.
And so Baird then acquired the additional piece of property and then started construction on the front 9 and added made it an 18-hole course at that point in time.
have the holes changed much since then?
A little bit here and there. They acquired some property in the back that they did a swap out for. I think it was like hole number 12 or 8, just to change the length of it a little bit. But I think in essence they've pretty much stayed the way they were originally designed.
What else we got in this book?
They have, this was one of the advertisements, the early advertisements, and again some of their.
Check out the style.
I know. They're great. This is the old clubhouse that was eventually built. I don't know if you can see.
And where was that located?
This was actually here. This
nice little patio.
it was a beautiful clubhouse. 85. In January of 85, there was a fire.
Another fire.
And another fire.
Seems like
And-
you're having a lot
Yes,
out here.
yes.
Any name Riverside is happening.
Yeah.
Yes. So again, this actually is a picture of the old poultry farm, because at one point in
what
time,
this
prior
was.
to the construction of the golf course, it was in fact the poultry farm that supplied the Riverside Inn with all the eggs and chicken for their food. This is the old caddy shack. This was the original pro shop for the. But
Oh,
this
wow.
is then it turned into the caddy shack, and actually is still in the
Right,
back on
right.
on.
I've seen
you
that
know,
movie a
yes.
couple times.
Did you?
Not a caddy shack.
I don't have a wood chip.
This
you know.
is people playing
Yep.
back in the day.
Yep.
Their attire and their clubs and so forth.
Actually, all of this information has been compiled by the Historical Society.
What?
They have done an amazing job of putting it together.
Caddies?
There's your picture of your caddies.
It's a lot of caddies.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
that's all you had were caddies.
Right.
You know, they
had
got
to walk.
something ridiculous and had to carry both sets of clubs.
Mike wouldn't be able to deal with that.
No.
I
He
was
has
a
to
caddy
drive.
actually back in the
And-
day in Long
and-
Island.
And there was a story about
Yes, some golfers there from the past.
how
59.
Yeah.
how in fact the caddies at one point in time decided they were going to strike for more money.
Oh, really?
They were, I guess that, you know, quarter a bag wasn't sufficient. Okay, so here back in the day,
Big event, 1984.
yeah, they were, it was a premier golf course.
John
at
Mahaffey
one
with
time.
PGA Touring Pro played here
and,
then.
and Ken Venturi.
And Ken Venturi.
Ken
and this Ken
Venturi,
right there.
yes,
if I'm not mistaken,
exactly.
'cause he did a lot with CBS
He did.
Golf.
Look at
He
the
was,
price, $8
yes,
bucks only.
Yes, he was. They would go down. They would go down to. Lynn Summers owned the course at that time.
Okay.
And he had his own helicopter, so he would go down to the Firestone in Akron. When the Firestone finished Sunday night, he would pick up the pros, bring them up here, and they would do a pro-am.
Nice.
So yeah, so there's pictures of the list of, you know, it was a big deal. You had all the marshals on all of the holes, and you had scorekeepers on all of the holes. It
I
was,
bet you they had a huge crowd then
Oh,
too.
can you
Just some of
imagine?
the pictures from it right
yeah,
there.
can you imagine?
Yeah. Wow.
This is one of the carts
Look
that
at
they
that.
would load up. And as you can see
Looks
here,
like
this
Ed's new
was
vehicle.
Yeah, but that was
is-
back in your time, Mike.
That's true.
there's a picture of the fire back in 1985. There was
Meadville
literally
Tribune.
nothing left.
Yep. 30
Wow.
cents a copy. So long ago. Yeah. Wow.
And it was closed for the season, so there was
Sure.
no electric, no nothing
Sure.
on. So it, so the
Then they
most
rebuilt this,
interesting
is that
part
when
of the
they-
story was that burnt in end of January.
Right.
This complete thing was
hold that
reconstructed and opened.
This is what this is today.
Look at the date.
Grand opening of Riverside Golf. Wow, 1986, July.
July of 26. They opened it in like 7 months.
That's hard to do.
Can you
today.
imagine trying to do something like that? You couldn't even get permitting. You couldn't get
That's true.
plans. You couldn't get anything.
I'm looking at the building, and you got all
They
that
did.
stuff.
They did everything in
And
7
that's
months.
plus what winter, and we know winters are like here.
You know, and if you look, Mayor Lou was out for it. It was a big deal. You know, so
Yeah.
there's all of these people all lined up on for the opening.
Wow,
7 months.
7 months.
it's hard
Yeah.
to believe.
Yeah, amazing.
Riverside goes back on course. Let's hold that up here, see if anybody might see anybody. Kings.
Dick Ball.
Yeah.
first
Dick Ball
superintendent.
was like the premier superintendent. You talk to anyone.
Jim
He
Proctor.
was.
He's from Pittsburgh. Okay.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite photographs. 'Cause that would be Durbin
Wow.
from Venango. Yeah, a really young Durbin.
Real
I know.
young Durbin.
See
Look
that,
at
Durbin?
That's you
Corey,
back
you
in the
see
day.
that?
Riverside appoints new pro. Nice.
So everybody had their start at Riverside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know what else we got. These are just, you know, some
is
of
this
the, well,
here?
because, you
Oh,
know,
weddings.
what they did was they constructed a banquet room,
Right.
and we've got a banquet room. So at one point in time, it was, you know, they had a heyday with banquets, and that still we use a lot. These are some of the memorials that are out and back that they basically were golfers here and
Right.
preserved.
Wow.
But
Golden years.
yep. So this was the old pump house at one point in time that was down across from Miller Station Road. Now you can't do that anymore. Obviously,
No.
you can't pull from the creek anymore. So
How
the
dare the
irrigation
government, you know?
that we've got is obviously from our ponds. This is like one of the fun things. So this is actually
Right here.
At one point in time, they were constructing the number 10 pond.
Okay.
And a couple of the members went out golfing one evening and found this, what they thought was a stick. And so they picked it up because it was interesting. You're right, it is. But, you know, they were screwing around with it. They were putting with it, and, you know, because,
They found out, what, 1990?
Yep. And they actually, somebody decided to take it and have it evaluated and found out that it was a woolly mammoth bone.
That's cool.
And so
I'm
they
impressed they knew what that was.
yeah, they did too. They told, my understanding is they told the owner at the time, and the owner was like, going to keep it on the QT because, you know, the last thing we want to do is get everybody and their brother, you know, stopping construction and, you know, digging on our course. So so the bone is still hanging around. I don't have it. The members have it, but they're taking really good care of it. But I think that's kind of cool, you know. Who knows what is buried underneath the rest of that.
That's right. Who knows?
So that's the sum total of my
So, when did
pictures.
you take over this course, Linda?
2010.
2010.
2010. So we're going into 9 years worth of operation.
And what made you decide to invest in this guy?
Oh gosh, it just seemed like a good idea at the time. It's a beautiful course. It's got great bones. It just needed a little tender loving care and attention to it, and somebody to look at the details in that. And I still think it has wonderful potential, and we're working really hard to bring it back. Like I said, it was a premier course at one point in time.
It was the premier course in
it
Northwestern
was.
Pennsylvania.
Yep. And so I'm not there yet, but I'm working hard at the process. We're doing incremental changes. We did a lot of drainage, addressed a lot of the drainage over the last few years, and it has made big differences. When they did the actual drainage and the irrigation, they did a good job of it. Unfortunately, over the years, a lot of the pipes had filled in and settled, and they weren't working any longer. And we've gotten that to the point where it's actually working again. And it's
So like a city
difference.
replacing their sewer line after it gets worn out.
And it probably needs to be done every few years just to keep the sediment from filling in on the whole process and that. So yeah, it's just but I didn't know the difference between a green and a T when I literally, so it was a huge learning curve for me. Now I can walk the walk and talk the talk. I've yet to swing a club.
It's all right. Tell us about, now you have a nice restaurant and everything in here too.
Yes.
So what do you have that for? Can people rent it out for like wedding
absolutely.
receptions?
We do wedding receptions, we do
Graduation parties?
baby showers, retirement dinners, meetings, we've got a picnic shelter out in the back. A lot of the brides that get married here also get married in the picnic shelter and then move the banquet into the banquet
Especially
room.
if it's a nice day, they want their
Beautiful
pictures
day.
outside.
Yes, absolutely. And as part of what I do is they get golf carts. They can take the wedding party out
cool.
and get pictures on the course because there's some really spectacular areas to take some pictures of.
Outings. People can call in and
Absolutely.
book an outing here?
I would love to. I kind of have the feeling that outings are kind of not as popular as they were in previous years. Even when we first bought it, there's not as many outings, and I think that you find that for several reasons. One, it's just expensive. It's expensive, and I think that people think that it sounds like a good idea. We're going to make a lot of money at an outing. And the difference that you make on an outing isn't the difference between what I charge you and what you charge your participant. It's the dirty going around getting your whole sponsors and stuff like
it's
that.
It's becoming harder and harder to do
that.
that. I've seen it,
Is.
And a lot of outings start dropping out that's been doing it for years.
That's exactly right. And honestly, it's harder to get the participants. One, it's pricey. And two, I think that people are just tired of everybody cheating.
Sure.
It's all of a sudden this guy that golfs twice a year is coming in, that foursome's coming in with a 56, and you just know that that just wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So I just don't see as many outings as what we did previous years. I just think overall they're declining.
I golfed here last year in the outing with one credit union, and
Yes.
it was really nice. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys did a good job.
We take a
I
really
mean,
good care. I can run a really nice outing. I take, basically I tell you, if you're an organizer, you do your registration because you're handling your money and you're handling your registration, and you can go out and golf because I take over from that point in time.
Nice.
When you walk in the door, I'm going to, when they're all done, I'm going to hand you all the scorecards. They're all scored. I'm going to tell you who's first, second, third. How, we'll do the skins. We'll do whatever. I'll take care of whatever so you could actually enjoy your tournament.
Tell us about your pro shop. You have items in there people can purchase.
I have a limited selection of items. I don't have clubs in that. I have your basics. So I have, the balls, and I have gloves, and,
Shirts,
hats.
sunglasses
and
like Mike's
yes,
wearing.
absolutely. But it's just, my feeling is with the internet, and there's no point to me stocking clubs.
Right.
You're going to jump on the internet or hopefully
And
go to
compare
Erie
prices
Sports
and all
Store
that, yeah.
and, get something from somebody who's going to actually fit that club to you and get it where
Right.
it is you need, and find out what it is you need. You shouldn't be buying a stock club from me.
You're right.
So
You also have a driving range here.
I do have a driving range, yes. Yep, the balls are available at the clubhouse here. It's $3 for a small bucket, $4 for a big bucket, and you can go out and knock yourself out and tweak that shot.
You got a putting green.
A putting green that you can, anybody's welcome to come on and, finish their putting and
You let people chip from off the green
I
onto
do,
it?
yeah. Yes, I do.
Cambridge Springs golf team. Is
They
their
do.
home course?
In fact, we just talked to Paul yesterday, and they scheduled the mega match in September. The mega match is when each of our golf courses come to one of the golf courses, and they all golf. So we all take our turns, and my feeling is those kids are my future. So
Right.
if I get somebody from, I know that Union City always comes over. Steve brings his kids over and they golf, in the summertime. That's my future. And the same with when I have a young family that's coming, when I get a mom or a dad that's bringing out a young one, and I'm like, if they're just learning, then go on out and enjoy yourself. I'm not charging for the young one.
Nice.
That's the hope. If they enjoy themselves and they learn, all I
be back.
ask is you move aside if someone
Sure.
comes up behind you.
Sure.
But other than that, let them learn.
Right.
That's how you're going to learn.
Tell us about league. What nights you have leagues here?
I have a senior league that goes out at 9 o'clock on Monday mornings. They golf 18 holes. There's 48 of them,
Wow.
and we just have a blast with the old guys. They're a lot of fun to go with. Tuesday night I have a male and a female league that they split either side. They're both right around 16, 18, so it really doesn't tie up
Right.
the course at any point
Right.
in time. They're almost all out by 20 after 5, and you could
Sure.
still get out and get 9 holes in. Wednesday night I have a league that goes out at 6 o'clock. They shotgun on one side or the other. Thursdays are a little jammed. I have a league that's 48 guys and there are about 24 ladies, so
Nice.
that's pretty tied up on Thursday nights. And that's it for my league. So I'm not really, squeezed on leagues and play at any point in time.
It's good to have leagues though because it gives you a steady income, right?
It
all
is,
courses
and
have leagues.
it is, and hopefully they come in and they get a beer and maybe a
Sure.
sandwich afterwards, and it's kind of nice. You build up a rapport with the guys, and my feeling is that I take good care of my leagues. I take good care of my members. I get to know my members after a while. I get to know their habits. So if I know that I'm a little jammed up, because I can pretty well tell you what's going on my course. I keep pretty close tabs.
Nice.
If I'm jammed up on the first couple of holes, I might tell you to go out on number 5.
Sure.
And you can kind of avoid some of this.
Right.
And that. So and the leagues, I know the habits of the leagues. I'm not going to send somebody out in the middle of the league, and that just annoys them hugely.
Right.
And I got it. I
Sure.
got it. This is their time period.
Right.
They should have the course.
And you
So-
know ahead of time what the time period is, so
I
it's
do.
not a problem.
Yes.
Tell us about your rate structure. What do you charge during the week, weekends? Do you have any specials?
I charge Monday through Friday. I'm $20 for 18 with the cart.
That all summer?
Weekends I'm $25.
Okay.
And I've got a Wednesday special. It's $19 for everyone, and Tuesdays is my senior day. It's $18 for seniors.
Well, you can't beat that.
So.
Tell us about your golf carts. Are they new, or do you lease
no.
them? Are you looking to replace them?
No, they are not new. Those poor babies are they're old.
Okay.
There's no question about it. I'm not making any claims. They're old, and no, we own all of them. So we've got probably 80 some clubs. We own all of them, and they're all tweaked and they're all running. So we're still babying them along. We replace tires and carburetors and all that good stuff.
Do you ever get help from any other course if you need more?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Durbin and I have worked for years that,
Durbin's up at Venango.
Yep. I get a call that, he gets a big tournament. He, borrows 4 or 5 carts. I get a big tournament. I borrow 4 or 5
Nice.
carts from him. And we usually swap equipment back and forth in the fall when we do a lot of the tining and that,
Sure.
the coring. So that kind of equipment is really expensive,
Yeah.
and it's hard to justify, a $25,000 piece of equipment that you're going to use for 1 or 2 days
Right.
a year, So we do that, and
What's your next thing you want to tackle on this course? What's your next goal or ambition?
My goal this year is we rearranged a few of the tee boxes last
Okay.
year. We moved some tee boxes because I felt that they were a little unfair to the golds. So we moved some of the golds back a bit, and we're going to finish those up and get those sodded here in the next week. And then we have a few other drainage issues that I'd like to address and fix the cart path. Number 6 is having some issues with drainage on the cart path, and then we still have a puddle that appears before number 9 green, and I'd like to, evidently it just kind of needs a drainage changed in height and that to drain a little bit better.
You only fixed
So-
up number 1 a lot as far as
We
rain,
did,
haven't you?
and again
There used
the
to be a
whole
pond when it rained.
two because
Yeah.
there was the pond
Right.
on either side of
Yeah.
it, and what actually happened there was that again the drains were there, but they were so that they would
Clogged up.
back up into it, and then there was no way for it
Right.
to drain back out. So when we literally did nothing more than drop the elevation, because we were pretty limited on where it went underneath the
Sure.
road, we dropped the elevation maybe about 6 inches, but that 6 inches was enough to uncover the existing drains.
Nice.
And then, so the ponds will still appear,
Yeah.
and the ponds will appear when the elevation. My issue with number 1 isn't the water that's coming off the course.
Right.
It's the water that's backing up from French Creek.
Okay.
So when French Creek rises,
That's
and
what-
we could have no rain whatsoever, but if they get it at the headwaters of French Creek and French Creek rises, that one's
You're
going to
still
flood
gonna
out. Yes. So if that creek rises, it will back up into my 2 ponds, but as the creek level goes down, it drops. So last year we had to replace the bridge because the bridge just floated away.
So, how many workers do you have helping you here? Do you have people that obviously we see them here?
I
cutting
have
the grass
probably
or anything?
7 or 8 that actually work on the grounds. I have one that works just on my carts and keeping my carts up and running. And then I have pro shop and cook and servers and that.
Is that restaurant open during the winter? Or not?
I am open for private parties during the winter. So,
Christmas party, something
Christmas
like that.
party, a baby shower, wedding reception, any of that I can do during the. Holidays used to shut it down in the wintertime. It's really hard on a building to
Sure.
take everything, all the heat out of it, and that, and
Right.
then you never quite know whether you got all the water drained, and then it takes 2 weeks to
So
warm
gonna have
up,
to
and
the pipes or
if we just shut the heat down, it gives us time to, like last winter I had the bright idea and we repainted the lounge and changed all the lighting fixtures
Nice.
and repainted the dining room and just freshened it up, and that winter period gives us time to do that without interruptions.
somebody wants to join as a member here? How much does that cost? Is it different prices for different ages? How's that?
Last year I just dropped the whole thing to $400 flat,
Nice.
and said $400, and it gives you unlimited. There's no time or date restrictions on it.
Does that include the cart? or
Does
the-
not include the cart,
Okay.
no. So, So I give them a price break. If you're a member, I charge them $6 for 9-hole cart and 8 for a 18-hole
Sure.
cart.
It's a really good deal.
That is a good deal. You know, a couple of years ago, obviously a year ago, this past May, we lost a Riverside hotel there in Cambridge to a bad fire. Is that going to impact you?
It did to a certain degree. On the one hand, you know, obviously at the Memorial Day weekend, there was a group that was scheduled to come in from Toronto that came in every single year. They would play us, they would play Venango,
Sure.
I think they played Culbertson, and of course we lost them right off the bat, and that was 40. There was a group that would come in from Canton, Ohio that would play 3 days, 36 holes, 2 days, and stay at the inn, and they were probably 30 some people, and we lost them. And there were several of the golfer groups that you know, couldn't find accommodations immediately. I'm hoping that maybe some of them come back. I got a call from one of them the other day, and he was looking at Edinburgh at the
Right.
over there to stay
Over there and
yes,
play Culbertson, play here.
Probably, yeah. They were, but you know, that's just what happens. We picked up a few reunions. That actually, I picked up 2 weddings that were like pretty gosh darn desperate.
I was going to say, you actually
that,
helped one out, if I'm not mistaken, reading it in the paper. It would be like the next day or next 2 days.
She called. Let me tell you, by 9 o'clock that morning, I had somebody call, and she was there by 10 o'clock, and we booked her, and we accommodated her. We had another one. We had the prom here that night, or you know, a couple of weeks
Sure.
later. But it just, you know. As far as picking up that type of business, the Riverside Inn was a very special
Right.
facility, and,
Yeah.
and if you went there, you were going there for the ambiance
Oh,
and
yeah. It was
you know, the feel of it. It was that step back
No
in
question.
time.
It's
Yes.
been there, it was there so long, so much history
Yes.
there. You know, when Alliance College was a school, people, you know the Riverside, and also the springs, the natural springs.
Yes.
I mean, President Taft visited when he was president.
Yep.
He stayed there because of the spring water.
It's amazing. I don't think people realize the amount of history
Yeah.
that is associated with Cambridge Springs.
And
Like,
back in the day, the railroad was big here too.
the railroad, they used to have 9 train stops a
Yeah.
day, and like I said, it was the halfway point between Chicago and New York. So people came and went, and you know, I would see some of the old menus that they had at the inn, and I'm thinking I wouldn't even at that point in time have any of the meals that they were showing then.
Yeah, there was
you
a
know.
lot. There was a lot of money in Cambridge
Oh,
at
there
that
was,
time.
yes.
A lot of money.
Yes.
People wanted more information about the Riverside Golf Course website.
Riverside Club, yeah, Riverside Club. Riverside, yeah, I'm gonna have to work on this. Riverside Golf Course.
.com.
No, it's not. It's
Okay.
riversidegolfclub.com.
Riverside
Sorry
Golf
about that.
Club.com. It's all right.
Yeah.
And you on Facebook too?
I am, but I'm a really bad job of it. I'm not that generation. I apologize. I just am really not that generation.
Someone who wants to call here and get information, what's the number you have for them?
It's 814-398-4692.
And you're about here all the time, aren't you?
I'm here open to
mean-
close.
Yeah. You like to sleep here too, or?
Pretty close sometimes. But again, you know, part of this whole thing, and I truly believe that part of the golf is that it's a personality thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people want to be treated and respected, and you know, they just want to be welcomed when they walk in the door, and you know, we can do that.
And a competition. There's so many golf courses
There
in
is.
this area, as Ed and I are doing this show,
Yeah.
that people like us that are golfers are very fortunate.
And people don't even stop to realize, and I think that's, you know, back in the day, when Halliday's owned it, he was charging $36
Right. Oh, I know.
a hole. And you know, when John Evans owned it, you know, like I said, it was a premier golf
Yes.
course, but there was also probably 10 less golf courses
Yep.
in the area.
Exactly.
And so now your competition is pretty stiff.
It is.
You know, and everybody's looking for a bargain.
Right.
And I got it. You know,
Sure.
I'm the same way. I understand that. But there's probably in a half an hour radius of Erie, 32
Oh, yeah.
golf courses that
Yeah.
you can choose from.
Me and my friends don't belong to any course because we like to go around playing
Oh,
them all.
absolutely. And
Fun.
I see that day in and day out, that there's groups that golf on Tuesdays and Fridays. There's ones that golf on Wednesdays.
Right.
And they do. They just pick up, the group that I had yesterday, they were deciding where they're going on
Right.
Friday, if I was a golfer, I would think that would be the enjoyable part, is
It
to
really
see
is.
a different course and a different challenge, and yes, I think totally understand that.
What hole do you have for your signature hole that Ed and I are going to play?
They are choosing number 11.
Okay.
It's a par 3. It's right
Hey,
by
we haven't
the,
done a par 3.
I know. That'd be great.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
That's right.
There's always that potential for a hole in one.
Good thing we get the cut.
Do you get redos?
No,
And
Kevin
who's
won't
gonna
let us.
play it with us?
Bob Burkell, my superintendent, is going to
So
show you around.
So that's number 11. All right, we'll be going out to number 11 to play the challenging signature par 3 hole. Ed, we're here with Bob.
Hey, Bob, how are you? Thanks
Good,
for having
very
us
good.
out here today.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And Bob, we're playing number 11 par 3. Tell us about this hole.
Well, it's only a
124.
124. It's all club selection, uphill. It's not just your easiest par 3 the way it looks like, but
Slopes down.
Yes, it does.
I had to change
Yes.
club there.
Okay.
Try to hit it, so
well,
Are
I
you
believe
ready?
both of you will.
Are you ready to go, Ed?
Yeah.
yeah,
Ed's ready, so I'll step out of the way.
Good luck, fellas.
I'm
Thanks.
gonna need it.
Me too. Ed's been practicing, folks, just to let you know. Oh, he hit that good. That's going to come back.
Too long.
Think so?
And
Just over.
I used the 9 on
Just
that.
over. All right.
Caught it clean.
Yes, you did.
But that's all right. Sometimes you have that.
Sure.
Had a little bit of wind to the back.
Good swing, huh?
Yep.
It was a nice swing.
I just got these clubs, so I'm still trying to get they're different than the pings that I had.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, I had the pings, and these ones are a little bit longer.
all right.
But yeah, I actually hit that one. That's probably the highest one I hit.
For 3 years with them.
Mike, I just got these clubs,
I know.
but I did enjoy my pings. Those pings were nice.
Yeah. Ping had the market there for probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I picked up some Callaway steelheads, and I really like them.
Here we go.
Oh,
Good ball, Mike.
Get up there. Get up.
It's up.
Get up.
Oh, nice shot.
Nice shot.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
You had to outdo me this time, huh? Like I did you at
right.
Venango, huh? Let's see.
Just tired of beating you, Ed. Just tired.
This old man, he's delusional.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
I can't believe I was over.
Past that.
Okay, Bob, we got Ed's second shot. Bob's giving Ed some instructions where to hit it. This is a tough shot, isn't it, Bob,
Oh,
with the
yeah.
downhill? Here we go. Ed said no problem. He's done this before. Beautiful day out here.
Oh gosh, is it ever?
I think he did it. That's a nice
Oh,
shot.
real nice
Look
shot.
at this shot.
Real nice shot.
Wow, Ed. That's an awesome shot. Yes, you did.
And if that wind wasn't blowing right there,
Hey, Bob, tell us, if Cameron can pan to that little building over there, what is that used for right up there?
that's the halfway shack,
Okay.
and that has a ladies and men's restroom downstairs, and that has a bar and barbecue inside. They do the hot dogs and the
So
hamburgers.
when
there.
is that open for people to buy stuff?
Usually 1st of June.
Okay. So somebody mans it and
Yeah.
there. Nice.
Yeah.
So it's like a little snack
for
then.
our outings last year.
Yeah.
We went through and they had everything right
All
there
right.
Yeah.
for us.
Well, now the inside this
Right.
year, something happened. I don't know actually what happened. Maybe the critters got in there, but
Sure.
demolished the whole inside.
Oh, boy.
I've been over there for 3 days.
Trying to fix
just
it up.
trying to fix that thing up to.
All right. All right. So, Ed, why don't you mark your ball and I'll go to mine.
Okay.
All right, here's
Good
Mike
luck.
for his birdie putt. Oh, look at that speed.
It's gonna turn. It's gonna turn now on him.
Oh, look at this.
Look at here. Look
Oh.
at here. Look at here. Real nice,
Nice putt.
Real nice putt.
Take my car.
Well, you've got a chance to.
Yeah,
you've
you
got,
want to finish that out? Go ahead.
you've got
For
a
the
chance to
count.
tie this hole.
Yeah, I got it tied. I beat him last hole.
Yes, he did. He got a birdie for the top hole.
Nice.
All right, Ed going for his par.
And I was a little in trouble too on this one.
Yes, you were. You played your second shot well.
This is a tough read, though, right here.
Yes, it is. This one's great about golf. You go from hitting a big club to a little club.
Oh,
Hopefully I
yeah.
don't crush it.
Yeah.
Watch me just tap it. He goes like 6 inches.
Yeah, don't hit the camera.
It's right edge. It's right edge.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Here it is.
Wow.
Nice putt.
Unbelievable.
Par for Ed. Huh?
Unbelievable.
Guy's
Very-
on fire. Good job, Ed.
Very nicely done.
Push this back.
Yep, like you should.
Go ahead.
And Bob and I want to thank you for letting us come out here and play, and thanks for
Been
your
my
hospitality.
pleasure. It's been my pleasure. Anytime you fellas want to come
How
out.
long you been a superintendent? 41 years?
This is my 41st year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time. You
Oh,
love
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah, I love
He
it.
loves
All
it.
the people you got to meet.
Oh, yeah. All the years. It's been unbelievable, really.
And if everybody could get out here and play for good prices and good scenery, Riverside's the place to
Oh,
go.
definitely.
It's picking up.
I hope you guys
I'm
come
happy
back.
for you guys.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
I'm glad for Linda too. Really.
Yeah,
at least-
she's done a nice
She
job.
deserves it. She really
Yeah.
does.
Very good person.
God
Get
bless
good
her.
hospitality
Yeah.
here.
Okay, for Bob, Ed, this is Mike saying you've been watching Course Close Up on Armstrong.